Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to ORL Season 11, Round 11 for the German Grand Prix here at Hockenheim. We're just waiting for the lobby to be set up, and then we should be straight underway with qualifying. I am your host, MilkyCereal, and I am joined once again by Maku. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hockenheim.
Yeah, and Hockenheim, I think a bit of a track favourite amongst quite a few drivers, as I think we have got the lobby invites coming through, so we should be able to get underway in just a short bit. But for those of you who are joining us and are unaware of the championship standings, Photon currently leads the championship after a victory last time out at Silverstone. Hyper sits in second place, 10 points behind. Napadovsky is in third, with Triton Lehman in fourth. Etnik TRN is a further 8 points down, with Mark 2 points behind Etnik. Formula Danny and Hayes tied on 46 points, as Nameless and Hadler round out the top 10. In the Constructors, Toro Rosso lead after Photon's victory. They are 4 points ahead of Mercedes on 137, Red Bull on 121, while Ferrari and Williams are in 4th and 5th on 86 and 82 points respectively. And it looks like everyone is pretty much in the lobby now, Maku. We've got a couple of new drivers, AOR Oxygen and SHZ Zones. Hayes returns, as does Formula Danny and Napadovsky after a few races away from the action. We've also got Shadow, who is a new driver as well.
Alright, so it would be just 10 drivers today?
Hopefully there'll be a few more. I didn't get a chance to check the entry list before we went live. Also, hello Mr. Camille, come on, how are you doing, dude? Who are you here to support tonight? Wait, actually, are you racing? Are you Mr. Shadow? As WoW will join the lobby as well, but 16 corner circuit here at Hockenheim. Every time I think of Hockenheim now, my mind instantly goes back to 2018 where Vettel crashed going into Mercedes.
Yeah.
And that was a point where Vettel's career ended pretty much.
Yeah, kind of. I remember that day I watched this. I don't watch the F1 races often because, you know, I do not have F1 TV, and in the normal televisions, you know, there's a lot of advertisement, and yeah, that's not pretty interesting then.
Yeah.
But this one I saw, and I got that angry, you know, because Vettel won the game in the race in Great Britain, and then Hamilton won the race in Germany. It was like,
yeah. And the thing that I found, I'm not going to lie, I was kind of sorry for Vettel when it did happen. But at the same time, it instantly flooded back when he took the victory at Silverstone. And he said, oh, it feels great to beat Hamilton at his home circuit. And I just thought, that's stooping a bit low. And then in Germany, in front of his own fans, he crashed. And I don't know what was worse, the fact that he crashed in front of his fans, or the fact that it was in the Mercedes stadium and everyone got up and started cheering him as he crashed. Which...
No, it was the Sachs Curve, the Mercedes arenas before that.
Ah, yes.
That is the Motodrome, I think.
Oh yes, yeah, the Sachs Curve, and I think it was the Verstappen fans were standing up and giving him a nice little clap as he crashed.
Yeah, but Verstappen fans are always everywhere.
Yeah, they are everywhere right now.
You can always see some orange people in the crowd.
Yeah. As Verstappen's fan had to go home a little bit early back at Belgium, earlier at Belgium this year, as he had, what did he have? Damage to his suspension, I believe, and he just went straight off through Eau Rouge. I haven't really been watching too much of F1. I'm not sure. I think Lewis Hamilton can win the championship this weekend, but
I don't know. But I know that in Germany and few, like I think Austria or Switzerland, and yeah, some countries you can watch the F1 race this weekend for free on Twitch.
Yes. I saw that, but it's
Not
not
in
in the
the
UK.
UK.
Yeah, not in the
Yeah.
UK. Ah.
You know, VPN is your best friend.
Yeah, I mean, Sky must have been looking at stuff and like, oh, most of the payments come from UK. Okay, we're not going to give it free in the UK then. We want more money. But I guess I'm going to have to move to Germany for the weekend. And Germany or, what is it, Sweden, Belgium, and Luxembourg, and a few of the countries in Central Europe. Okay. Hypers is ready to go. Nobody else is, though.
We are ready to go.
Yeah, we're always ready. We are, I mean, considering these drives, these guys are supposed to be the fast guys, but they're just always very slow in getting ready.
They have to search for their speed and then, you know.
Yeah, they have to find their speed, you know, sort out all their setups and all of that stuff.
Yeah, because they're not prepared. They just do their setups now.
Calcifer is ready as well, and we have both Toro Rosso drivers racing today. We have a Hypers. Fabrizio Donoso, I do not believe, is taking part. Who else do we have? We've got Formula Danny for Alfa Romeo, who is the main driver. We only have Zones and Shadow, but that is not Triton Lehman or Triton Matthias, who are the Williams starter drivers.
No.
As Calcifer is begging me for the link, so I shall send it to him.
Of course.
Right, don't forget, guys, if you are new and do want to get involved, do hit us up with a follow on Twitter at @team_ORL, as you can see on the screen in front of you. And in the description below is more info on how you can get involved with ORL, whether you want to take part. This is the A split that we are watching now, and there is, of course, a B split as well. And that's just a little less serious. I mean, it's still serious, but slightly lower quality of drivers. Still good, fun, and hard racing, so always worth joining in and just seeing how you do. As it looks like we are ready to go then for qualifying. So we'll be seeing you guys in just a short bit as we transition over. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I thought I'd done something clever and had fixed the reason why my F1 game pauses every time I Alt-Tab to go to my second monitor, but alas, it hasn't worked because good old Codemasters, thank you very much for making producing F1 leagues so much easier. Don't fix that ever, like, just never do it. Have it the same all the time, and just don't introduce couch-to-couch racing either while you're at it. Anyway, here we go. The first couple of drivers out on the track. We have 14 drivers, Krusix and Andinator in the McLarens as well. And it looks like neither of the Triton drivers will be here, but we do have both Red Bulls and both Toro Rosso drivers tonight. And VPR Kaboom as well is joining us, as he's also said hi in the chat. Good luck for the race, and I guess primarily qualifying as well. Actually, Napadovsky is one of the first drivers out onto the track. There is someone ahead of him. I believe it might actually be Photon.
Yeah, Photon is going through the Mercedes arena.
Oh, Hypers. Hypers is about to come around the final corner to start his hot lap. So Let's see what he can do on his opening lap. Across the line into the Nord curve for the first time. Brave as you like, using up all of the curb. Brakes nice and late at the start of the curb. Pulls it in. Now feed the power on as you make your way through turns 3 and 4. Slam on the DRS. Has a bit of traffic ahead of him, but that should not cost him too much at all. Hypers makes his way in towards turn 6. The hairpin brakes nice and late. AOR Oxygen tries to get well out of the way. And will just use all of the space on the side as Hypers forced to compromise his line just a little bit, but shouldn't cost him too much time. He is on the hard tires, so this will not be one of his quickest laps by any means. As through the Mercedes arena, Hypers go. And out of turn 10 into Mobile 1. Carry as much speed as he can, a little bit wide. And now down into Sachs. Just have to be patient, feed the throttle in through 13 or 14 and into 15 and finally the Sud curve. But Hypers will peel straight into the pits. The Napadovsky is on his flying lap. The fastest lap so far is from Shadow, who has done a 1:13.1 in the Williams. We'll have to see whether Shadow and Zones can step up to the level that Matthias and Triton Lehman have been bringing to the Williams team. Here we go, Napadovsky through the final couple of corners. He is on the hard tires. Everyone else has set their times on the hard tire zones with the 12.7, but Napadovsky with a 12.1 storms through and takes provisional pole. Now, last time Napadovsky was racing, I do believe he was on pole. I can't remember if he won or if that was a race that Nameless picked up the win.
Oh,
see, I could check, but then the stream would pause on the
So basically,
yeah.
the last race Napadovsky got started, he won. Yeah.
Okay. Was that France?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
See, I remember things 100%.
Yeah, my brain is not that good.
My brain is awful, but here we go. AOR Oxygen has set a 13.9. Who is on a lap? Kalsfer's going to peel into the pits right at the end, as he was looking to set, would have been actually very close to Napadovsky. He's on the soft tire, so doesn't want to give anything away just yet. So that will be the first round of qualifying laps done. Shadow just on his in lap now. Let's see who's going to be the next one out of the pits.
You mentioned before we started the stream that the names of the turns are very creative. You know what the corners 2 and 3 are called in the German track map?
Oh, no, what are they called?
It's just called entry parabolic.
Wow.
Wow.
Wait, for real?
Yeah, it's just written entry parabolica. That's it.
Because I know
and
turn
after that
5.
there's the parabolica.
Yeah, turn 5 is called parabolica, even though it's not much of a parabolica. When you name a corner after the parabolica in Monza, that's a bit of a letdown. Oh, Zones gets very close to the entry wall into Mobile 1, into the Sachs curve as Zones. He's on a fairly quick lap at the minute. It's a little bit of a twitch from the rear end into the final couple of corners we go. Just be patient, can't run wide as you pull up back in through the final corner. Use up all of the track you can. It's looking fairly quick. It's going to be a 12.5 and Zones will remain second. I think he was second originally, but he is at second for sure now, 2/10 ahead of Krusix and Wow. Speaking of Krusix, still going out around on those hard tires. Not sure if this is an in-lap though. That's his second sector. Time is 3/10 up actually, so he could just about jump ahead of zone if he can hook up this final sector.
And Hayes is just chasing down Parabolica, now going through hairpin for his first fast lap.
Krusik, so let's see what he can pull out of the bag. Is looking quick, and it's going to be a 12.4. Krusik moves up into second place, but still a fair way down on Napadovsky's time. There's Paddy on a lap. What about Hayes, though? This is one driver I want to watch out for. Hayes, Photon, Hypers, Formula Danny. These are, you know, 4 of the biggest names for this race, along with Napadovsky himself. And these are the 5 that we expect to be challenging for the win. Hayes through the final corner is looking fairly quick. What's it going to be? It's a 12.3, and it is an invalidated lap. So, as Hyper sets a 12.2 on a set of hard tires himself. As Calcifer on a lap as well. Formula Danny still in the pits. He has got to be the favourite for today. After a long period of absence, if he can win this race, he will jump right up into 4th place ahead of Lehman and almost jumping ahead of Napadovsky, as Calcifer slows it down at the end of the lap and will push for a 2nd lap.
Why are Krusik, Zones and Kaboom still out on their 4 laps old hard?
I unfortunately do not have the answer to that, Maku, because it makes no sense to me.
I have a theory. Maybe the hard tire needs a few more warm-up laps and you can go faster if you know, because on some tracks that's with the medium, I think it is that way.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the hard the same.
I don't think Germany is a track that is notorious for being hard on tires, so you can probably get away with putting in a few laps on the hard tires. But Photon, complete sector 2. This is his first flying lap. What can he pull out as Zones on 5-lap old hard tires puts it into 2nd place, jumps just ahead of Hypers, but not ahead of Napadovsky. Only 200s down. Meanwhile, Photon through the Sud curve we go. What's it going to be? It is fairly quick, but not quick enough. It's a 12.4, and it's only enough for 5th place. Oh, but look at this. Formula Danny on the gleaming hard tires. Gleaming new, I should say. Coming through the final sector to start his first hot lap, or what will be his first counted hot lap. He did do a sighter lap on some soft tires earlier on at the start of the session, but he peeled into the pits before he started his lap. Formula Danny through turn 1 looks a little bit scrappy so far. Into turn 2, nice and patient on the throttle. Straighten up the car as soon as you can. It's a 15.6 through the first sector. Now through the Parabolica in towards the hairpin. How late will he dare brake? Actually quite early, so it's just a nice consistent lap from Formula Danny. I don't think he's pushing any limits here. Down into 3rd, bit of a lock-up on the front left tyre, and Formula Danny will back out of this lap and just try to recharge some ERS for a 2nd lap. Meanwhile, Hayes was a 10th down through the first sector, but has decided to bail on his lap as Formula Danny has picked up some ERS. Will he go for another lap, or is he going to peel into the pits? Here we go. He's had 2 laps to warm up these hard tyres, and this is the lap where he can go for it now. Oh, that's more like it. Formula Danny through the Nordic curve, carrying so much speed. Now into turn 2, nice and late on the brakes. Takes the apex beautifully, feeding the power back in through turn 3 in the kink of 4. Now through the Parabolica, looking so much quicker than his opening lap already. Down to 36% ERS. How late will it be? Later than previously. Misses the apex slightly, but that's fine. You can get away with that. as he puts the power back down, up through the gear, 6th, 7th, through the curve of turn 7, down into 3rd gear, ever so slight under rotation as Formula Danny has left the session apparently. Not quite sure what happened to Formula Danny as WoW leaves the session as well. So I know that we have had races sometimes where people or Steam just bugs out and loads of people disconnect. Hopefully we're not in for another race like that as Napadovsky is on his outlap and is going to be starting another lap once again on the hard set of tires as I've disconnected from Steam as well. So Steam is being fantastic. First we get Codemasters not letting me alt tab, and now Steam just, you know, just being Steam.
As always.
Yeah. Steam tells me, check your network connection. It may have some issues. Why don't you check your network connections?
Alright.
Here we go. And that's all that we have today for round 11 of Hockenheim. No, however, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be heading into a break while hopefully we try to get back into things. So, you know, maybe this is perfect time for some of you guys to grab a little bit of food. But hopefully we should be back and underway in just a short bit. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It appears that we have sorted everything out, so we will be getting underway for qualifying once again after Steam decided to break. No surprises there, really, but we will be underway for a second qualifying session. We had almost made it to the end, Maku, but I guess a little bit of extra practice for the drivers won't hurt.
Yeah, that's for sure. Maybe we'll see some better time, some even better times to this water.
I know Maku and myself, we were discussing while in the break, ideas, stuff that F1 are planning to do for 2020, 2021. However, I still think that one of the best ideas is to do Spa-Francorchamps, but backwards.
So you like driving up the hill
Yeah,
and then down.
Could you imagine hitting Eau Rouge at 200 miles an hour downhill, coming through that, and then you've got La Source braking from like 220 miles an hour down to about 50?
Oh my god.
There may be some accidents, but 100%
Maybe.
worth it. Like we could have the start finish straight on the Kemmel straight or where it currently is, but you start off with the bus stop chicane.
But then they need to they should integrate that into the F1 game, that you can drive these.
I'm not gonna lie. If I think, right, I'm gonna put this out there. ORL, we need to do that. Next social race, it should be at Belgium. We take off like rules and stuff so it doesn't penalize us for going the wrong way around the track, and we do a rolling start and go backwards around Spa.
Oh yeah, that will be cool. That will. Oh.
Could you imagine? In fact, I don't even want to race in that. I just want to watch the amount of crashes through Eau Rouge, because that is going to be nuts.
Maybe we could do this as kind of a community event between like two championships.
Yeah, for sure. We can have a second for fun championship, which is like 15 lap races, but going around loads of tracks backwards, with the exception of all the terrible tracks like Monaco.
Oh, you're one of the people who don't like Monaco too?
Oh, yeah. I'm one of the people who likes racing. Therefore, I don't like it. Yeah. We're going to have some very angry people in the YouTube chat in a second, Mac.
Yeah, we will.
No, here we go. Kaboom has just started his hot lap, so let's sit on board with him as he makes his way into turn 2 for the first time. Obviously, once again, the drivers that I personally am watching out for, and I think will be contending for the win: Formula Danny, Napadovsky, Photon Hypers. I just think that Hayes is quick, but he'll just be a little bit too far off the pace. I think he'll be bridging the gap to the likes of Crew 6 and WoW and Zones and Shadow as well. So here Kaboom's lap did get ruined, so is anyone else on a hot lap? Calcifer is a 49.4 through the second sector. Makes his way, a bit of a moment. You just touch that curb on the exit and it just sends you back out as a bit of a drift from Calcifer, and he peels right back into the pits as Shadow sets a 12.9. Remember, we were at 1 minute 12 flat in the previous qualifying session, so those are the times we are looking for. Maybe a couple of 11s if drivers do want to go.
Maybe someone will hit the 1.119 or something.
We could get, I think we would get a 110 if Formula Danny goes onto the soft tires.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like the hard tires, you have a lot of grip.
Right, here comes Oxygen through the final couple of corners. Let's see what he can do in his maiden ORL qualifying session. It's not quick at all. It's going to be a 15.7 on the soft tires. Who else is on a lap? Wow, has just started his. Is anyone coming towards the end? There's actually Hayes making his way out of turn 8. Will complete making his way into the Mercedes section. Down into third gear for turn 8 through 9 and 10. It's a 50.2, so he's about 6/10 down on what Calcifer was doing on the soft tires. Hayes makes his way into Sachs. He's on the power, no drama with the back end for him. Just hearing those faint sounds of lockups as Hayes makes his way through Sud Curve to complete his lap. It's looking fairly quick. It's going to be a 12.7 though, and it is not enough to take pole. 1/10 down on Andinator. Zones takes provisional pole with a 1 at 12.3. Napadovsky, though, has started his hot lap. He is on the medium tyres into turn 2 and 3 through the kink of 4. 15.7 in the first sector. DRS enabled. Zones gets well out of the way. Napadovsky, what can he do? He was on provisional pole for quite a while in the initial qualifying session. And now into turn 6.
Oh, and Hyper's hit the wall on the straight between turn 1 and 2.
Did he just lose a back end?
I don't know. I just
Oh, this remembers.
like all the way around.
This reminds me, actually, Maku, last year we had massive drama as we had both Force India esports drivers. I think it was Yoni Tormala and I can't remember who the other driver was called. And they had a coming together out of turn 1 and went straight into the wall as Napadovsky sets a 1 minute 12.5. Not enough for pole, but if anyone wants to see that accident, it's there in the ORL trailer, which is on this channel somewhere. I think it's the front video when you go onto my channel. So if you want to take a look at that, that was a big incident, and it was quite spectacular as well because they were battling for, I think they were battling for the race lead effectively, and it opened the way for the 3 Velocity drivers to lock out the podium spots as wow. So that's a 12.4, so he's looking pretty quick. No one has broken into the 111s just yet though, Maku. Here we go though. Calcifer on the hard tires is a 50.1 through the second sector. It's looking fairly quick. As down into Sachs he goes. No drama with the back end. Uses up all of the road through the mini chicane of 13 and 14, and through Sud Curve we go. What's it going to be from Calcifer? 12.4. It's enough for second place and a decent job by Mr. Calcifer. However, his teammate Photon is on a hot lap, and something we've been noticing with Photon and Calcifer in qualifying, they are very evenly matched, but come the race, Photon seems to be able to find so much more time. Here we go though, Photon making his way into turn 8 and through 9 and 10. No new laps just yet. Zone still going on those 4-lap old hard tires as well. Photon into the final couple of corners. Paddy just ahead. We'll see what lap Paddy can pull off. As well, Paddy up into 9th with a 12.8, but Photon, what can he do? He's looking quick. It's a 12.1, and it is enough for provisional pole, but still, we are 1.5 tenths away from that 111 mark.
So we have some 9.5 minutes to go now.
Yeah, Formula Danny is coming out of the pits. And Hyper's coming around to start his flying lap. So we should be able to stick on board with Hypers for his hot lap and then switch on over to Formula Danny. So yellow flag in sector 2. We're not quite sure who that is for, but Hyper's has a little bit of a moment with the back end down into turn 2, nice and late on the brakes. Not even a sound of a lockup, clean as you like. Hyper's back onto the power, onto the back straight. through the parabolica. Obviously no lift at all through here, easy flat. And now down through the gears all the way down into first gear. Misses the apex slightly, but as we said before, you can get away with it. Back onto the power, up 6th, 7th, into turn 7, and now into Mercedes. Back down through the gears into 3rd. Take as much apex as you can. Pull the car back over to the left for the right hand of turn 10. Now into Mobile 1. How brave do you dare be? Down to 6th, back straight onto the power as into Sachs we go. Drops down into 2nd, back up to 3rd. Misses the apex but by a little bit, but that curb is really, really slippery into turns 15 and 16 through the Sud curve. Velocity Hypers, what's it going to be? Is looking phenomenally fast, but it's only a 12.3. Velocity Hypers can only manage 3rd. Meanwhile, Formula Danny, let's stick on board with him, is a 15.6 through the first sector. The second sector, the normal times that we have been seeing are low 50s. Calcifer did a 50.1. So we're expecting to see maybe Formula Danny just squeezing into the 49s. But into Mercedes, Formula Danny will go, runs a little bit wide. That will compromise his run as he will back out of the lap. And he will let Kaboom through, and Kaboom having a bit of a moment as his back end all over the place through turn 11 as he carries as much speed as he dares, uses up the grass, and he loses the back end. And I believe there is Krusix was just behind him, and Krusix spins as well actually. So as Kaboom collides with Krusix and has a 5-place grid penalty, so while I was trying to switch of views, there was an incident that we just about missed. So that is a shame, as Formula Danny sets a 1:20. But he'll be going for a second lap. What's it going to be through the first sector? He did it a 15 before. It's a 15.6 and just a tad quicker through sector 1. Here we go. Formula Danny into turn 6. Oh no, I forgot that when I
What?
Right, I switched, I alt-tabbed, and I paused the screen for a second. I do apologize, viewers. Formula Danny, 49.5. That is what we expected to see from Formula Danny, the man who just missed out on the championship last year. Deserved the championship, arguably was on such incredible form, disconnecting 3-4 corners from the end in Abu Dhabi to lose the championship. Formula Danny across the line, a 1:11.7. Did we ever doubt him, Maku?
That was an absolutely fantastic lap from him. And as you can see, it was the second lap on his hard tires.
However, Photon is a 2/10 up through Sector 1, 3/10 up now through Sector 2. He might be able to challenge Formula Danny if he can just get Sector 3 together. Runs a little bit wide, just trying to trail brake to drag it in. Anyway, into turns 15 and 16. It looks neat, it looks tidy, but is it fast? It's certainly looking at Photon with a 1:11.8. He's only a 10th down, but it is not enough for pole. Formula Danny still so quick. And Donator is on a lap. Let's see if he's got anything to challenge the top 3. No, he's well off the pace right now. What about Zones? He's half a second down through the first sector, so nobody here on a quick lap.
But now some of the drivers just pulled up their mediums.
Okay, so nobody looking to start on the soft tires, so maybe we'll see medium to softs in the race, maybe mediums to hards. There's a few different strategy options for everyone as drivers making their way out for their final hot laps.
And as if the drivers who now have their lap on hard set, they could do a hard soft, of course, as long as they.
Zones is the first of the drivers on the medium tires. Do you want to take us away for this hot lap?
Yeah, sure. So basically, he's going down now to the north curve, going down into third gear, hitting the apex, back onto the throttle, down the parabolica with the DRS wing opened, heading into the hairpin, braking late, going down into first gear. And then after going through corner 7, we're going into the Mercedes arena with a lot of curb.
I think Zones cut the corner. He's backing out of it.
Yeah. I think that was a little bit too much for this corner one.
So Zones will have to wait for another lap. However, Hypers... Did he just set a 112? No, he's on his hot lap now. Let's see what he can pull out.
Who's that?
Also, we'll have to see whether Formula Danny can make it into the 1 minute 10s. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. However, we're focusing on Hypers, who's making his way down in towards turn 6. I mean, I'm surprised, not gonna lie, that Hockenheim, they named it hairpin. They should have named it East Curve. It works just as well.
Yeah.
Hypers into the home arena for the Mercedes. And now through turn 10, he'll complete sector 2. It's a 49.4, a tenth up on what Formula Danny did. Is it enough? The yellow flags are still out. Will it compromise Hypers? He's going to push regardless. I can't quite see what the yellow flag's for. There's a Renault up ahead. Hypers throwing it into the final couple of corners, using up all the curb, all the road. Hayes has set a 111.4. What can Hypers do? It's a 111.46 that is not quite enough. As is a great lap from Hayes to take provisional pole. Photon about to start a hot lap, and Napadovsky on his out lap as well. However, let's stick with Kalsper because he is half a second up at the minute. If he can find another few tenths, he could take third, potentially second. How quick is it going to be from Kalsper? It's a 111.6, and he will secure third place. 2 tenths down on a Hypers. However, let's sit on board with Photon because he's absolutely gunning it, throwing it into the Nord curve here, Maku.
Yeah, but that was already the second curve because he's now going through Parabolica, of course, with the DRS opened. Up to the 8th gear, there's... didn't get that name, but that's not that important. Braking late, not hitting the apex that well, but that's okay as long as you feed the gas, the throttle in the right way. Now going down the 7th corner, going into Mercedes arena as Kaboom retired.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he has crashed. You'd have to assume so.
Hayes too.
It's a 49.2 here from Photon. This is really, really fast. He might be able to do it, getting into the 110 as Hypers will retire as well. So that is Hayes and Hypers done. Qualifying has ended. What can Photon pull out through the Sud curve for the final time? Photon comes across the line. It's a 111.2, and it will be provisional pole. Calcifer into the pit. Formula Danny through the hairpin. He is the man we are watching out for. Also, let's just see where Napadovsky is. He's in the final couple of corners. He's only 4 tenths up on his previous best. He might barely be able to get into the 111s here, as it is very, very close here for Split A. It's a 111.5. Napadovsky up into 4th place. Here we go. Formula Danny into the final sector, coming through Sachs, back onto the power. Can he find the time? He beat Photon on the hard tires. Can he do it on the medium tires? Through the Sud curve, using up all of the track possible. Across the line, it's a 111 dead. And Formula Danny will take pole position for round 11 of season 11.
absolutely fantastic round from Formula Danny, and we have now all the drivers between the 111 and 112
Oh,
second.
wow. Look how close Zones, Paddy, and Kaboom are. 6,000ths of a second separating the three of them. That is incredible.
Yeah.
All right then, so let's just get confirmation then of your qualifying order. Formula Danny will take pole position with a fantastic lap ahead of Photon. Hayes takes third ahead of Hypers. Napadovsky in fifth ahead of the second Toro Rosso of Calcifer. Wow takes seventh ahead of Crucix and AOR Oxygen, who has a 5-place grid penalty. Sorry, Crucix has a 5-place grid penalty, as does Kaboom for contact in Sector 3. Undernator takes 10th ahead of Shadow, Zones, and Paddy. And as we mentioned, Kaboom in 14th place. But the scene is set for what is set to be an absolutely fantastic Hockenheim Grand Prix. Welcome back, ladies and gents, as we look to get underway for what is a gloomy Hockenheim circuit. As we see in the grandstands a French flag, a British flag, a Spanish flag, a Mexican and a Brazilian, but no German flags, which is rather surprising. Codemasters, you might want to fix that one up a little bit.
Nah, no German fans in Germany. That's not realistic.
Okay, right. Good evening, ladies. Oh, sorry, hang on. I need to redo that. Pardon me. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 11 here at Hockenheim for the ORL Split A Championship. Formula Danny lines up on pole after a fantastic qualifying session. Photon, though, narrowly misses out and rounds out the front row of the grid. Hayes takes third in the first of the Red Bulls, while Hypers, who recently lost his championship lead to Photon, is in fourth. Napadovsky is in the second Red Bull ahead of the sister Toro Rosso of Calcifer. Wow, in seventh in the lone Renault ahead of AOR Oxygen. Andinator takes ninth ahead of Shadow, SHZ Zones, ARC Paddy, and Crucix and Kaboom line up at the back of the grid after a 5-place grid penalty due to collision. In the championship standings, Photon leads on 122 points, 10 ahead of Hypers. Napadovsky in third, ahead of Triton Lehman, Etnik, TRN, and Mark in 6th place. Formula Danny in 7th, tied with Hayes. Nameless is in 9th, ahead of Hadler.
And in the Constructors' Championships, the Toro Rosso has now taken the lead by 4 points of Mercedes. Then we have Red Bull in third with 121 points, Ferrari in fourth with 86 points, then Williams, Alfa Romeo Racing Point, Haas, Renault, and McLaren at.
It's a big day for Toro Rosso and Red Bull. 10 points separate them, and the Toro Rosso drivers are second, third, fifth, and sixth. Close as you like, but all eyes are on this front row. Formula Danny and a Photon. The 5 red lights are here. Lights out and away we go for round 11. It's a good start from Formula Danny as Photon will slot in behind. Hypers is forced to take a 4th place as he was looking a little bit feisty towards the Nord curve. No real changes here just yet. As well, taking a little look at the back of Napadovsky, but just as we predicted, it is these top 5 who we expect to be battling for the race win. Although Wow wants to be joining in the action as he's looking at Napadovsky round the outside into turn 6. Can he actually hold it though? He's going to be forced out wide, and Calcifer.
Oh! Andinator just got backed up.
Andinator Did he lose his front wing?
He Shadow kind of got under him, and he was, I don't know how to describe it. That was,
Oh, as
like
there's an
Shadow
incident
just-
going on up ahead. Oh, someone's into the wall. That's Hypers. And right when he needed a result to challenge a Photon in the championship, there is an incident. We're not quite sure what exactly happened. Unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of any replays. But that is Hypers' race ruin. Calcifer's diving into the pit stop, but I don't think Calcifer could have made any contact. It had to have been with Hayes or Napadovsky.
Milky, can you just take your mouse cursor out of the screen? That's on the streams.
No, sorry, I do apologize. My Streamlabs should be set to not include the mouse, but there we go. But once again, for 2, if not 3 races in a row, Calcifer is into the pits at the end of lap 1. Hyperzo will keep on plodding along. Hopefully, he didn't lose his front wing and it was just a spin. The front wing we saw flying must have been from Calcifer then. So it's a good start from SHZ Zones, who's moved up to 5th place. Kaboom as well, gaining 6 places up into 8th. But it's terrible starts for Hypers and Calcifer.
Your mouse cursor is still not off.
Yeah, because... Wait. There we go. My mouse cursor's gone now. There we go. Everyone is on the medium tires as Formula Danny sets the fast lap of the race. Photon, though, with DRS now enabled, could just look to just try to stay within that 1 second zone as Kaboom peels into the pits. At the end of lap 2, Photon will be able to get DRS on the backs straight, but is it enough for him to keep in contact with Formula Danny, who has done everything in his powers to stretch out this lead? The top 3 all within 1 second of the driver ahead, and then a bit of a gap to Napadovsky, who must have been involved in that contact with Hypers. Hayes and Napadovsky, we've talked about how these two are so evenly matched in terms of pace, but this might be Hayes' chance to close up to Napadovsky, who is currently 30 points ahead in the championship.
So I think your mouse pointer doesn't like you.
It's not, I can't even see it on my screen. How can you see my mouse cursor and I can't?
It's on the stream. It's kind of
okay, you know what?
where...
Okay, guys, you can blame Maku for my stream having to pause it temporarily as I try to just take my mouse off the thing.
R7 wanted me to tell you that it is there.
Okay, so we can blame R7 for that one then. Oh my god, I don't know why it doesn't want to do this. I should know how to do it. Like, usually it comes up as a way to remove it.
It was never there last time.
Scream at me if something's about to happen, so we don't miss anything. Yeah, just scream, like, as loud as you can.
Oh no, you don't want to hear that.
Okay, no, we probably don't. Right, I can't find it. I'll have to do it some other time. Okay, I know what to do. I'll take it onto my second screen. There we go.
Yeah.
I'll click here and then, like, move my mouse, right?
And then you can alt-tab back to yours.
Yeah. Hayes is within half a second of Photon, who has dropped outside of a
and
second
then
now.
it's going into the sex curve.
Yeah, Zone's looking for the move. They are still side by side through the chicane. Wow, down the inside, but round the outside. Are you kidding me? Is he actually going to hold this? He's going for it. Gets forced out wide, but Zone's round the outside of the entire final sector and sweeps through into 5th place into the Nord curve. DRS is activated, and wow, will not be able to find a way back through. That was beautiful from Zones. However, look at Andinator. He's very close to Paddy, and he has Velocity Hypers right behind him. As wow, actually, he's getting back past Zones, and Zones will have a little look to the inside, won't be able to make anything work. Meanwhile, back behind, here we go. Hypers round the outside. Paddy might be losing 2 places here as Crucix outbreaks himself slightly. Hypers though on the medium tires. Paddy, one of the 2 drivers to start on the hard compound. And Hypers will sweep around the outside of turn 7 and reclaim 10th place. Meanwhile, Formula Danny is still stretching out his lead at the front of the pack as Andinator running wide through Sachs. Hypers might have a chance to find a way into 9th a little bit earlier than he might have been anticipating. Andinator takes a much wider entry line into the Sud curve and will get slightly better drive, but it's all about here into the Nord curve. How much speed will Andinator take? Quite a lot. Hypers has DRSs. Andinator taps the grass. Hypers right on the tail. However, Andinator won't have any real defense on the back straight as Hypers gets a better run, has the DRS. Andinator will go defensive around the outside of the Parabolica. Hypers down the inside will be on the outside of for the hairpin, but it won't matter at all as Kaboom is our first driver to pick up a penalty. Meanwhile, up ahead, Zones has just got back ahead of Wow, so these 2 battling for 5th place pretty hard, which is allowing Napadovsky just to get a bit of breathing room. Not able to catch up to Hayes right now as I saw the specks of dirt on Wow's car. Are we going to see some rain? I'd love some rain.
Oh, that will be fun in Germany.
Yeah. We saw last time out at... Yeah, you were commentating with me at Silverstone, weren't you, Maku?
Yeah, I will.
Yeah, of course. Of course. For some reason, I thought you weren't.
Oh.
I heard an ooh. What happened?
Zones had just a massive lockup, kind of, and it slipped a little bit away.
Right, here we go. Wow, it's getting really close to Zones. He's going to have the DRS down the back straight, but he's not going to get the drive, actually. So Zones might be able to defend this one as Hypers. 1.8 seconds down on a Crucix. Will be looking to close that gap up for Formula Danny. Still stretching out that lead now at 2.5 seconds to Photon. As well, can't quite get close enough. Right, I need to do something else. I need to switch scenes, do this. Right, okay, so I'm not sure what to expect this race because it is so overcast here at Hockenheim. You'd have to think that we are in store for some rain. Here we go. Wow, he's been dropping back from the zones. Half a second down. Hayes just keeping within contact of Photon. Oh, for God's sake. Yes, I know what you're laughing about. I think I know what you're laughing about anyway, but... Hypers up into 9th, closing in slowly but surely onto Crucix and Oxygen. As the Ferrari close into Crucix, having a little look at Oxygen, but won't be able to find any way through. Lap 8 of 34. I guess we will be expecting the pit stops to be coming through at around about lap, what, 12? Wait, no, lap 14 probably. Lap 14 to lap 16, around about then. Unless Jeff is telling everyone that rain is on the way, in which case everyone will be trying to stay out for as long as possible. Formula Danny sets a new fast lap of the race. The gap now 4 seconds to Photon. Formula Danny returns to ORL with a point to prove. And it will be some good points as well coming in as... Oh,
you left the session.
I did leave the session.
Oh no.
Which means, and when I leave the session, it means that other people are disconnecting from the session.
Yes.
So,
Zones.
I don't know if that means that the results are going to be based off qualifying or at the point where people started disconnecting. I'm kind of unsure. Actually, Maku, do you want to try screen sharing with me?
What?
Do you want to try screen sharing with me so I can try to stream like that?
You mean I shall you send you an invite to?
No. So Discord,
What?
if you turn on screen share.
Ah, that one. Yeah. Wait.
Oh wait. Okay, no. Yeah. It's going to be rather pixelated, folks, so I do apologize for that, but it is quite literally the best that we can do. So, yeah, I do apologize in advance, but there is literally nothing else I can do about this. Right, I just need to work out how to set this up. Oh, it's actually... Oh, Hyper's going onto the grass. I really need to get this up quickly. I just need to edit some stuff. There we go. It's done.
Hyper's past now crew 6. And Photon and Haze is really close to Photon.
Oh, wait, hang on. Right, there we go. So I can see what you are seeing now.
Yeah.
Rather pixelated, but I can see it nonetheless. And it also means when I alt tab, I don't pause the stream. Alright, here we go though. Haze, it's such a shame I can't see the gaps as Haze disconnects. I think it would probably be wise to call the race quits here. However, we will keep on streaming until the end of the race, or until I get told otherwise by race officials. But yeah, it's a bit sad that this is how it is going.
But maybe it's just because of Steam is today like a little bit.
I mean, we say Steam is like this today, but I'm sure it happens more often than that.
Yeah, that's possible though.
So here we go. Photon's still running in second. Hyper's up into 7th place while all of this has been unfolding. Oh. Has Crew 6 made a pit stop?
Seems like.
Okay, so Crew 6 pitting very early, so going for the 2-stop strategy would appear.
But I don't know. Has Crew 6 disconnected? So was this the AI or?
Oh, as
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, the AI might have pitted and decided to go for the 2-stop strategy for him. As Oxygen taking a look is got a nice 3-way battle. As whoa! When did Napadovsky catch up to Haze?
Haze is ghosted, so he's an AI driver. Basically,
wait,
we have a cameraman
does that
here.
mean that Photon has disconnected as well?
No, he seems to be okay. His car is at least not ghosted.
But hang on. If Haze is ghosting, that means he's kept up with Photon.
But Calcifer just restarted the game. Wasn't he the host?
He was no, Formula Danny is the host.
Oh.
Of course, when we've got a good race on our hands, Steam decides to do this to us, and now I'm just trying to work out how the ghosting car of Haze is keeping up with Photon and Napadovsky, and how Napadovsky has caught up about 2 seconds to Photon and Haze, and got past Haze as well. It feels very dodgy.
Yeah, at the moment you can just drive through the car of Haze because it's ghosted.
Yeah.
That might be a solution to one of those questions.
As Hypers climbs up into 6th place, as Zones peels into the pits.
What? Shadow has a fastest lap of 54 seconds.
And he was ghosting. Wait, 54? Okay.
54 seconds.
Take that, Formula Danny, as Photon goes defensive into the hairpin.
You mean Foden, not Formula Danny, or? You mean
Yeah.
Nepodovsky?
Well, I thought Photon went defensive into the final corner.
Yeah, and Nepodovsky was blocked. Formula
Okay,
Danny
yes.
is 10 seconds
10 seconds up the road.
away. Yeah.
As Calcifer rejoins the session, let's see if he can get going again. I mean, if this is the case, the race officials just might pick the race order from when Napodovsky was behind Hayes, and I guess Hypers was down in 10th place. As Napodovsky peels into the pits, can he do 20 laps on the hard tyres? It is entirely possible.
And Hypers does too.
Oh, and Andinator follows suit as well. I guess everyone is still running, no one really ghosting then. Also, usually when people ghost, it tends to be Formula Danny who's the first one. Formula Danny and James usually. But it's all.
But as host, it's kind of difficult.
See, that's why Formula Danny wanted to be the host. He was tired of constantly being disconnected. As I believe this is Kaboom on the back of a Calcifer. Moves to the outside of the Parabolica. Calcifer, well, Kaboom on the fresher tyres, I do believe. Oh wait, no, they're on equal tyres, but Kaboom on the softer of the two tyres, and will make his way up into 10th place. Hypers is very close to Crew 6, the battle for 8th place. Right, as yeah, so Hayes, the stream has crashed, so I do believe he is ghosting. As Kaboom picks up a time penalty.
Wow has stopped and came in front of Hypers.
Yeah,
And
speaking of Hypers. Oh wait, no, this is yeah, it is Hypers, sorry. Around the outside into the hairpin. Can he actually hold it? Crew 6 with a couple of flat older hard tyres won't be able to. And Hypers moves up into 8th place.
Wait, why is my game so laggy?
It's probably because you are streaming to me by
That
Discord.
is possible. Because we were streaming like all the way around the world.
Yeah. You're streaming to me and then I'm streaming. Our internets are going to be very, very tired at this rate. However, Hypers is only 6 seconds down on Hayes, Photon, and Napodovsky. So, you know, a few laps and he's going to be right back in contention for 2nd place.
There are Hayes, Foden, and Napodovsky again. I think they're... But Hypers is now getting a 3-second time penalty.
Yeah, and Napodovsky has found a way through on Photon finally. Wait, has Zones made a pit stop as... Oh, Photon very late on the brakes. Makes a little touch with Napodovsky, but won't be able to pick up the position.
Yeah, Zones stopped as well as Photon and Hayes, but I think 2 laps earlier.
Okay, so... Zones is doing a fantastic job as well then in the Mercedes.
Race.
Is he in the Mercedes? Or Williams?
No, it's Williams, I think.
Williams. Okay.
But it's his first race, right?
Yes, I do believe so. The SHZ boys having a good day out there. 3rd and 6th. Well, would have been a bit better than 6th if Hayes didn't disconnect due to Steam being Steam and doing Steam things. Here we go.
There's just Kaboom out on the mediums now, and I think nearly everybody except for Calcifer, Kaboom, and Paddy can drive its race on these tires to the end.
Yeah, Calcifer and Kaboom did appear on lap 1 and lap 2 of the race respectively after front wing damage after a bit of an incident on the exit of turn 10. So Calcifer will just be going for one more stop most likely, or because I highly doubt he can make it to the end of the race on the hard tires.
Yeah, maybe one of the people in the back will try. Because, you know, maybe it's worth the risk for some points.
True. Hyperzone needs to close down, wow, needs to get that gap down so that he can challenge Hayes, Photon, Napadovsky, and now Zones as well. Paddy still needs to make a pit stop, so hopefully for Hypers he can hold up some of these front runners, but meanwhile at the front of the field, Formula Danny having the time of his life, or maybe actually probably not the time of his life. Danny usually likes to have some exciting battles, and well, no battles available for him.
Yeah.
Hey Layman, it's a shame that you couldn't race. Yeah, we've been having quite a few Steam connection issues and everyone has been disconnecting, including myself. Hence why we have this rather poor stream quality right now, as it's a four-way battle for second at the minute, as I don't know who, but someone has got past the Ferrari. I can't even read the names. So,
yeah, that's very good quality.
oh, down the inside, Napadovsky. Oh, he's not going to be able to make it work, and now Photon looking to pick up the pieces down the inside into Sax. Napadovsky trying to keep it going around the outside, but now side by side as we take a look at this from Hayes' ghosting perspective, as Calcifer has retired from the session, if I can read one pixel words.
One.
Here we go. I don't know how Hayes' ghost is doing so well, but I want that ghost. How far is Hypers down? How far is Hypers behind WoW now?
5 seconds.
Still
So that's basically still very big gap.
Unable to close in.
And the game just sticks the ghost of Hayes to the back of Napadovsky and Photon.
I don't know how he's done this. This is just massive hacks right here from Hayes.
He basically just don't want it to drive, and he let the AI do the job for him.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I'm not going to lie, the AI is about a second, maybe 2 seconds a lap quicker than I could drive. So, it's a pretty good AI, I'm not going to lie. Could you imagine if it was actually overtaking Photon and Napadovsky by just driving through them?
Well, technically, I think it will possible, but I don't know if the AI is kind of able to do that.
If it's allowed to just drive through your car, or if it has to find a way through.
Yeah.
Photon just sticking with Napadovsky right now. Formula Danny probably has some ridiculous gap at the top of the standings. Photon down the inside of Napadovsky. Will pick up the position fairly straightforwardly. Napadovsky, can he fight back? I can't see anything, Maku. It is so blurred for me.
Yeah, sure, but there isn't that much delay on my stream, like on this Discord thing. I think that's another reason because why it's so bad.
Potentially. I think if we had Nitro, it'd be a lot better and you get much higher quality.
Yeah.
Or if we were in a server that has Nitro, which
but you know,
yeah,
my internet is very bad too, so basically, you know.
because it's like this even when I play League of Legends, and when I stream the League of Legends to someone in Discord, it's terrible. But if I'm in a Nitro server, then it works perfectly fine.
Oh yeah, then that's reason maybe two. Cruisix gets another 3-second time penalty.
We are on lap 21 of 34. 15 laps remaining. Oh, sorry, 14 laps remaining. Hyper's unable to make any inroads at all onto WoW. I wouldn't actually be too surprised as well if we see Formula Danny pit at the end for some soft tyres just to get a fast lap of the racing.
Yeah, sure, that's absolutely possible because he's now like nearly 14 seconds.
Oh my god.
So his gap is like expanding.
So if he can push for another 5-6 laps, he can, or actually 9 laps, he can pit and have a couple of qualifying laps.
Yeah, kind of, yes.
I don't know if
Just
you'd
have
risk.
to make.
I don't know if
Yeah.
you'd risk pitting if it meant that he came out in second place.
Let's take a look at Shadow.
Shadow, who disconnected and then was able to reconnect somehow, able
Yeah.
to do something that nobody else can do.
He's a magician.
Yeah. I think Hayes actually reconnected as well. I'm pretty sure Hayes is not ghosting. He can. I refuse to believe that a ghosting car is as quick as an F1 esports driver, practically. Because that is some nutty ghost. Oh, but look at this. Shadow getting a great run. Will he look for the inside on Andinator? He's
Not
just
yet.
a little bit too far back, yeah.
You know what we can try next time? You know this co-streaming function on YouTube? Oh.
What do you mean the
Shadow just lagged back. That you have kind of two perspectives in the same stream.
Wait, you
and
can
then
do that?
Yeah, as a viewer you can change between two cameras. And it's like two different streams, but basically in the same stream, kind of.
Oh, that's interesting. I would like to know how to do that. Also, hello, Mr. Aaron Civico. Thank you for joining us. Sorry that you have to witness such a bad stream quality. Unfortunately, Steam is playing up, so don't forget to angrily message Steam on Twitter and ask them why their servers are so rubbish and force us to keep on having these disconnects mid-race. But Shadow still looking for something onto Andinator. Hype is actually falling back as... Wait, WoW has caught up to Napadovsky. He's just overtaken Hayes as well. So WoW up into 5th place.
Yeah, right. So basically Hayes is still a ghosting car. But he's still very fast.
Oh, WoW has a moment and... Oh, Hayes overtakes! Oh, wait, WoW wants it to get back through the power of the ghosting car. WoW finds a way back in. And actually, considering how quickly WoW got back ahead... It's surprising that Hayes is not falling back at all. I don't think he's ghosting, but he is driving the car, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, kind of. Because, by the way, it is impossible, really. But you know, I don't know if WoW can see Hayes, kind of, because he just straight went through him. And
yeah,
if you're driving,
he can't see Hayes. Hayes is just invisible to everyone except us right now.
yeah, I think.
Maybe, Maku, you mentioned before we came live that there was a new ghosting mechanism or new ghosting system.
Right.
Do you think this could be it?
That's possible, yeah.
If you disconnect, you can reconnect, but you will be driving a ghosting car.
Yeah, and the other players can't see you, but you kind of are still understanding. And
that's a bit unfair. I'm not gonna lie.
Wait. Yeah, that's a bit strange too. Wait, Paddy is really close to Shadow. Let's get back there again.
Paddy on the fresh medium tires, closing in. And Paddy right on the back of Shadow is Andinator watching all of this unfold from behind. So I believe Paddy did just get past the Andinator. 10 laps remaining for the Hockenheim Grand Prix. Right now it's looking like Photon will be extending his lead at the top of the standings to Velocity Hypers, who has finally started closing down the gap onto Hayes. It's now 4.5 seconds. It was almost 6 seconds before. Hypers seems to have got those hard tires to finally work for him, but he does need to catch almost at half a second a lap. Oh, here we go. The dive down the inside from Paddy. As Andinator will watch it unfold. Tries to get a drive. Can he potentially join the battle? Shadow drops in behind Paddy just to get a bit of slipstream. But Paddy picks up 9th place nice and easily.
So basically, in the update news from Codemasters, there's just written that cars being lapped will now ghost in online sessions. So there will be no blue flag.
Whoa, hang on. Did you just check that up on your PC?
Yeah.
Wait, so you can alt-tab and it doesn't pause your F1 game, but it pauses mine?
No, because that's my laptop right next to me.
Oh, cheater.
Yeah, it's kind of confusing with two keyboards in front of me.
2 PCs is better than 2 monitors, apparently.
Kind of true, but kind of not. Because you try to go with the mouse to the other screen, but it won't work.
Oh, Andinator almost making contact with the Shadow. I think you should somehow have one mouse plugged into both and just watch the magic unfold.
And somehow I think WoW is way slower than Napadovsky, so Hayes is backing up behind him.
Yeah, WoW
I think Hayes could have stayed behind Napadovsky, but WoW is holding him up.
Okay.
But Hayes, Hayes is ghosted, so
yeah, and the fact that a ghosting car is going quicker than WoW is, well, it's WoW.
Yeah. Yeah, your pun.
Hey, we had to get one of them out. Oh, 7 laps remaining. And, oh, Photon has got past Napadovsky up ahead.
Oh. Wait, false direction. I always do that. They're still battling.
Side by side as they enter into Mercedes. Photon down the inside will pick up the position, but Napadovsky looking for the cutback. Through turn 10 he goes, but he just won't be able to get the drive, and Photon will be able to hold on to 3rd place for now. Meanwhile, I do not know where Zones has come from. He was not in this battle at all, and now he's leading it somehow. So I believe something happened when I disconnected from Steam and tried to fix everything, but
I think it was his pit stop, because after the pit stop he was in front of those.
How old are his tires?
15 laps now, so he pitted 2 laps earlier than Photon and WoW, and 1 lap earlier than Napadovsky.
So you'll have to just keep those tires in check, as maybe Zones will be forced onto the 2-stop strategy. We'll have to see how kind he is to his tires, but Napadovsky, he's got the run on Photon. He will be forced to the outside. Photon, though, late on the brakes. Napadovsky trying to hold it around the outside. Won't try to find the move. Remember, back to, what was it? Jenson Button and Sebastian Vettel back in 2011 or 2010. I believe it was 2010 or 2011. Back when McLaren was good and Vettel was in the Red Bull.
That sounds kind of sad. Back when McLaren was good.
No, I'm saying back when McLaren were good, like not even referring to the current era of McLaren. Back when they started finishing like really low down the order with Button and Perez, and then
yeah, and then
it was all downhill after what, 2012 for them? And then 2013, Lewis left for Mercedes. 2014 won the championship, and it's been a Mercedes reign ever since. But Napadovsky once again looking for the outside. He's further ahead this time. Can Photon though pick up, keep the position, and he will be able to. Photon once again holds on to third place. They can see the Williams up ahead, but with these two fighting, they will not be able to close zones down.
And I think Napadovsky will throw it all in to get Photon past, to get on the podium on the third place, because Formula Danny now nearly got a whole pit stop of space between him and zones.
That is just crazy. Formula Danny back to his masterclass ways with an absolute dominant display here at the German Grand Prix. Hypers is at 3.5 seconds down on Wow. He's closing up 2 seconds in the last, what, 4 laps? But it's not going to be enough as things stand unless Wow and Hayes just keep on battling. But with Hayes ghosting, it's going to make it so much harder for these two to hold each other up. Paddy looking to have a go at Crew 6 on the fresher medium tyres. Only 13 runners remaining after Calcifer did retire from the session, having the same issues disconnecting from the steam. Paddy though very close to Crew 6 with 3.5 laps remaining. Formula Danny, will he go for a pit stop? Does he want the final point? To ride on board with the race leader now. If he does pit, it has to be this lap or the next lap.
Yeah, else it would be unnecessary, kind of.
And the native picks up a 3-second time penalty. I'm not quite sure where we are in terms of penalties as Formula Danny. No, it will not be this time round.
So basically, as long as I got all penalties, Crew 6 has now the most with 3.
Okay. No one nearing that 5 penalty mark.
Oh, and Calcifer just showed up in the chat.
What chat?
The YouTube chat.
Oh. My YouTube chat closed. Oh.
Wait, there was a position change.
Oh.
Um,
Paddy has lost the position. Yeah. He was challenging Crew 6 and he's lost the position to, is that Shadow?
Yeah. So, Calcifer was around the outside of Andy Nader and they had contact, and then he lost the control of his car and went into a wall.
Yeah. Yeah,
what?
I was talking to Calcifer before the race and was saying, you know, no more excuses this race is out. Battle happening going into the hairpin. Oh, Napadovsky, Photon still line astern. Wow.
But they're the other way around now. Napadovsky is now in front of Photon. He just overtook him. Photon was third place before.
Yeah. 2 laps remaining to find a way back through. Photon and Napadovsky. Napadovsky, he found the way through on Triton Lehman, you know, a couple of laps from the end back at France. No, sorry, it was Triton Lehman who was behind Napadovsky for so long, but never made a move. Did Napadovsky just get a time penalty?
Yeah.
So Photon depending on how many penalties he has, might just take third place regardless. We don't know if Zones
Think
has
none.
any. Oh, yellow flag in sector 3. And
Maybe
Crucix is
that's.
dropping through the order. It must be for him.
Oh, yeah.
As Photon goes down the inside, I think, into the hairpin. Because he is back up into third place. And these two battling hard as you like. Formula Danny has not pitted. He will not be going for the fastest lap of the race. Can Napadovsky close the gap down? Formula Danny is on the final lap. It's been a perfect race from him. Napadovsky and Photon still battling for third. They thought they'd be battling for second, but somehow Zones with the undercut jumps ahead of all of them. Photon, Napadovsky and Hayes. And a fantastic strategy decision from the Williams man. Napadovsky, can he find the way through on Photon? Remember, Photon picked up the win in the last two races at Silverstone and Austria. Austria was such a fantastic race, four-way battle for the lead, but Napadovsky is too far back. He's not going to be able to do anything into the hairpin. The only other opportunity for him is if he can get close enough, maybe going into Sachs. Zones is ahead. We don't know if he himself has a time penalty, but Formula Danny will be crossing the line any moment now to pick up his first win of the season, I believe. And after winning about 90% of his races in Season 10, it's a surprise that he hasn't won a race yet this season. Formula Danny will pick up the victory, but we are still paying attention to Photon and Napadovsky. Photon surely has got this, barring any major mistake. Only 4 corners remaining for him into the final couple of corners through the Sud curve. Zones will take second. Photon picks up a third, and Napadovsky will take a fourth. Hayes is still a 10th down on wow, and he'll jump ahead after the time penalty. So will Hypers. Wow, with too many time penalties. Hayes in 5th, Hypers in 6th. Paddy will take 8th ahead of a Shadow, able to find a way through right at the end. What's... What happened? Okay, Paddy is ahead of... Okay. Paddy ahead
So
of
basically,
Antonator, but someone disappeared, I think.
yeah, the order just got screwed up, I think.
Yeah, that was very strange.
I'm gonna screenshot
Yeah,
the results so we can have a look at them afterwards.
yeah, don't forget to look at Race Director as well, as an extremely pixelated Formula Danny steps up onto the top step of the podium.
Luckily, at least my internet got still a connection to
Yeah.
the
Right.
session.
So let's just get a final confirmation then of the standings, and then we will take a look at the Race Director. Alright, here we go then.
Yeah, Rewa, what did I do to gain 2,500 experience?
So final confirmation then. Formula Danny picks up the win ahead of Shadow, Photon and Zones. Napadovsky takes 5th, and Hayes jumps ahead of WoW, as does Hypers after WoW, with 3 time penalties, as Napadovsky lost. Napadovsky would have fallen behind anyway. He had a 3-second time penalty. And Crucix, I'm sorry, as we take a look.
Can you actually see something in that one?
Yeah, we can see it. Yeah, it's fine. Because it's not a moving thing, really. It's much clearer.
Okay. Basically, that should be a... We can...
Yeah. So, WoW takes 8th, ahead of Paddy in 9th. Andonator in 10th. AOR Oxygen takes 11th, ahead of Kaboom, Crucix, and Calcifer, who was forced to DNF after disconnecting to the Steam servers as well. Right, guys, we're going to be going into a short break, but we'll be right back with driver interviews with the top 3. If you have any questions that you would like us to ask them, do include it in the chat, and we will both try our best. Good evening, ladies and gents. Welcome back to the ORL production for what has been a fantastic round 11 at Hockenheim. And we are joined by race winner Formula Danny after an impeccable qualifying and an impeccable race. How does it feel to be back to winning ways?
Hello, guys. Yeah, it's nice to be back in the league. This track was good for me because this is also an esports track in the next event. So it's good for my preparation as well. And I'm very happy that I completed the 34 laps without a single warning, which is, I guess, a great result as this track is very, very easy to cut the corners or go a little bit wide. And this game by Codemasters punishes you for that a lot. And also, my full second stint was within 2/10 of a second. But there hasn't been a single lap when compared to my previous lap. I differed by more than a tenth. So this race for me was good for the ultimate race time, the ultimate strategy, ultimate consistency, and therefore I won by 24 seconds ahead of Photon, who is a really, really talented guy. So I'm proud of my performance, and I'm happy to be back at the top spot of the league.
Oh, it was a great race from you. Was there ever any chance of rain? Because it looked really overcast out there.
No, it was overcast for the full race. Jeff didn't tell any rain to us.
Um, I just realized now that when we look at the standings, Shadow ended up jumping up in second place somehow. Yeah, we were saying Formula Danny, you couldn't get fastest lap. Shadow did a 54-second lap time. Do you think you can ever beat that?
No, that lap was impossible to beat. But if we if we look legally, Photon got the fastest lap with a couple of hundreds faster lap time than me. But he could open the DRS on that lap or use extreme ERS modes like overtake or hot lap.
Hmm.
I didn't even go for the fastest lap. I just went for ultimate consistency. Maybe I should have grabbed at one point, but now it's for the other Hungarians. So
Yeah.
at least it stays in the Hungarian family.
There you go. Hungary 1-2 here at Germany. Also wanted to ask, you're currently racing in the F1 esports scene. You know, just what's that like? How has the experience been so far?
F1 esports has been pretty tough on Alfa Romeo Racing and on me especially this season. As in the first event, except of scoring 50, 60, maybe even 70, 75 points, in the three races, I could walk away with only 6 points, as I had brake difficulties both in Bahrain race, both in China race. There, my brake completely broke, so I couldn't score points, and I was leading both races in Bahrain and in China. So from 50 points, I lost 50 because in the first two races I didn't even score a single point. And after in Baku qualifying as well, my brake wasn't working properly. So I couldn't even qualify into the top 10. I was at the very back end of the field. And only that race in the first event I could score 6 points, finishing seventh, gaining eighth position on that 13 laps race, which was pretty fun for me. But obviously, F1 esports season is not that long, as in real life it's only 12 races except of 21. So because of that three unlucky races in event one really hindered our full season. But
Hmm.
of course we pushed really hard, and the second event was a slight improvement, but we had some bad luck there as well. But I'm not gonna always find excuses. From the back of the field, I came up to now P7 in the Drivers' Championship, which is still a fair result, and there is two more events to prove that I am better than that, and hopefully gain another quite a few positions.
All right. Well, fantastic job again. And I guess the question that we always have to ask you: do you have your lasagna ready?
No, unfortunately, in the last 1.5, 2 months, I didn't even eat lasagna.
Wow.
But the meat is the same because now we have bolognese spaghetti, and the meat is nearly the same as in lasagna. I
Well,
don't know the name of the meat, but you know these small pieces of meat.
right. Um, we're doing a thing now as well that I'm trying to start up for ORL, where we have driver of the day. If you get driver of the day, Formula Danny, would you be willing to do a track guide for the next race where you're singing throughout the entire lap?
Yeah, probably. I'm not sure with singing, as it's
Yeah,
very
you
hard
can make it
to.
serious. You can make it serious, or you can show us some of your singing talents. Because I've
Okay,
seen a
yeah,
Twitter video of you playing the guitar and singing, which was very
yeah,
impressive.
yeah, yeah. So I'm willing to do that, of course,
Okay,
if I get the driver of the day. So no worries.
right. All right then. Well, thank you again for joining us, and we hope to see much more of you throughout the season and speak to you a lot more in these driver interviews.
Thank you very much. See you very soon.
Right. All right then. Well, a fantastic and impeccable drive from Formula Danny, who we just heard from. As we mentioned, we are looking to do something a little bit new here in ORL, where we are looking to give a Driver of the Day award as voted by you fans. And the Driver of the Day gets to do a track guide for the next race. And Maku, I was thinking of our selection of driver of the days. Of course, Formula Danny on a stunning performance. But then again, zones for, I think, what was a
Yeah.
very impressive run, and a Shadow for doing a 50-second lap time.
Yeah, well.
Do you have any additions to add to driver of the day list?
No, not really. I mean, you could put Foden and Napadovsky on it for the great end battle, but
Or Hayes' ghost car for being the fastest ghost car to ever exist. But we will leave it at those three: Formula Danny, Shadow, and Zone. So do let us know in the chat who you think should get driver of the day, and it can do our track guide video for us. However, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you have, well, enjoyed everything. It has been an absolute pleasure to host this race. We do apologize for, actually, sorry, we apologize on behalf of Steam for having a terrible server and causing disconnects. If you haven't already, do hit ORL up with a follow on Twitter. You can see their Twitter handle on the screen, as well as mine and Maku's. We'd all appreciate that, and you can find out more details on how to join ORL and when we will be having social events in all of the links in the YouTube description. But once again, thank you for joining. Stay fast, and we will see you next week for round number 12. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.